All right. So good afternoon and welcome to the next Living Light Body Living podcast. And today we have a very special guest on that I've really been looking forward to doing this interview with, and is Dr. Sharita Yazid. And she is an iridologist. It's wonderful to see an iridologist that preceded me when it comes to that African heritage, and her father before her, Paul Goss, all doing iridology and really taking it to a level of which I have worked very hard to achieve. So I'm going to let her tell you a lot more about her background as well as where she is right now in her journey. So, welcome, welcome.
Greetings, greetings.
Yes,
Finally, we doing this.
yes, finally,
Had technical
finally.
problems before, but since
Yes,
I'm in the US, I think it's a little bit better today.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. So I'm Dr. Sharita Yazid. Um, I don't know, this screen is looking kind of funny. I don't know if I need to change it, but yeah, I'm a naturopath, iridologist, and the CFO of the New Body Products or the Goss Corporation, which entails the New Body Products and New Earth. We're celebrating 50 years of
That is
hard
amazing.
work,
That
working
is,
on behalf of our people in our community as well as globally, making sure that we are getting the information that we need to deal with holistic wellness, mind, body, and spirit. That's from our own perspective, African perspective. So, yeah,
yeah.
Dr. Paul Goss, the late great Dr. Paul Goss, was a master iridologist. He was my first teacher in reference to him. I'm also going to give reference to my mother too, because no man is great without a great woman. My
Yes.
mother, Alsonia Goss, yeah, she's also a herbalist as well. And whenever we got sick, she was the one that took care of us. So, yeah, and give thanks to her. She's now 88. She's living in North Carolina, and between her and my sister, Pauletta, we're all doing the work. We're continuing the legacy of the business. Like I said, we've been around since 1976. We have over 130 products, herbal products, combinations, and single products. And we have over 20,000 distributors worldwide as far, it's a network marketing company, um, um, or multi-level marketing company. Some people might know it as that. So, yeah, I'm a mother of six, grandmother of four, as far as I know. And then I also go back and forth to Ghana. So I live in Ghana. I've been in Ghana for like the last 20 years. I'm also a citizen of Ghana. And I come back and forth between Ghana and Los Angeles for the family business. I did.
That
It's a lot. I mean, I do a African Culture and Wellness Festival in Ghana. I've done it 6 times. I brought people like Muta Baruka, Dr. Aris Latham, Queen Afua, to come to the spread the wellness in reference to how we do it as, Africans. And not necessarily going there to tell them, how to do it, but just reminding them and also learning and sharing, the ways that we deal with wellness.
yeah. So that actually touches on one of the aspects of things that I want to talk about. And
Mhm.
since we started, you opened that door, I'm going to start there because
Okay.
I was just telling you earlier that we had the inaugural flight from Ghana here, and it's something now that has opened a door that has never been opened in Barbados, where we can go
Nice.
directly from here to Africa.
I'm happy
And
about that.
um, obviously, we're all very curious about taking that flight over and touching in motherland, but the reception, the sharing, the bonding is something that we're all curious about of how it's going to be. And how
Yeah.
was it for you going over? Because how long has it been that you went over? and set up in
First time was August 2006. So it's been
2006?
20 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's a
It's
long
been
time.
20 years.
And you've been
Yeah,
well
yeah.
received.
Very well received. When it comes down to the Pan-African movement, Ghana has a big part to play in that because of Kwame Nkrumah, coming to the United States, going to historically Black universities, and then learning more about um, who he was or the strength of who he was as a Black man.
Right.
And, because the reality, our people have been colonized just like we are over here, colonized of the mind. And sometimes it took somebody from the movement in the States to come and say, hey, African man, we're this, we're that. Do you know your history?
Yeah.
And so Ghana also, has the Black Star on the flag, which represents Marcus Garvey.
Right.
He's responsible, or he's the reason why the Black Star is on there. So when it came down to people who are in the Pan-African movement there, that's where I was well received, as well as the wellness community. That's there. There's a Vegetarian Association of Ghana that's there, several different ones actually now. And
Yeah.
so when it came down to seeing clients there and then realizing that I had to do a lot to get them to understand what to do when it came down to diet and what to eat, just typical, just like dealing with our people here in the States and the Caribbean. They love to have the heavy meat, high starch diet. And, and to get them to change and do something different, it's like sometimes it's, really foreign. I like to remind them that this is what our ancestors did, before. And I always
Yeah.
try to find some kind of reference through either a local herbalist or just, a woman in the market that can tell me some information, about food. I have the Vegan All Stars, which is a group of vegan chefs, um, who has different catering businesses or restaurants or what have you, and pulling them together to help, spread the word as well. So we used to do TV. Um, every week on the number one morning show in Ghana for about 14 months every Saturday.
Wow.
And I sought that out to do that because it's easy to talk to a bigger group a few times than it is to talk to an individual one by one. And
Yes, for
so,
sure.
and when it's on TV, it's a little more believable, right? I think everybody believes whatever they see on TV or on the internet, they believe it.
Yeah.
So, it gave it a little more weight. And so yeah, I was well received. I think I had locks at the time. I was slimmer.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
yeah, I think it was a lot for them to accept for one for the locks because people they have this idea about locks and sometimes rastas. One lady said, "I just see people with locks. They're usually dirty. They don't wear no shoes and And then she said, "You got no makeup. Your hair is neat." And it was
Right.
just funny to see
So
how
the
people
perception
see
change. That's cool.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was and I think a lot of it has to do with your attitude too, as far as you being well received. I have a friend that said she just told herself no matter where I go, I'm always welcome. So even if she
Right.
goes somewhere she wasn't invited.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
she
She
walks in the
has
door,
great
people are happy
attitude.
to see
Yeah.
her.
She was
I said
supposed
that's a
to
good
be there.
attitude to take, so I kind of adopted that.
Cool, cool, cool. All right,
Mhm.
so let's talk a little bit about iridology now and how was that received? Because I mean, the history is coming from there in the first place, the inspiration, the
Yeah.
creativity of it, the
Hmm.
the whole birthplace of it to me is
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how was it received for them to remember that you can use your eyes as a way of really seeing what's going on in the body system?
It was well received. I think because Africans, and I'm gonna say West African because that's where I've been, they're afraid of like juju and voodoo and African traditional things like that. So sometimes they'll think that you're looking in somebody's eyes, you can tell what's wrong, what's going on, and then when you hit on it, it's like, something. So I had to, knowing that I had to let them understand, the science. I talk to them in a way that it's like reading a map. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And it's telling me what's going on, or is able to tell me, okay, in this area you have some kind of deficiency, and it looks like there is a problem or a problem is coming. So I'm able to read it in the eye because your eyes take on different formations. I felt like I had to do a little more explaining up
yeah,
front so I didn't have to deal with those questions or deal
right,
with those taboos. So I think because of the way it was, and then also, so I did have my father come down there, I think for his 75th birthday, and he was interviewed on TV, and he was able to talk about, the iridology then. And then we were able to get him to come and teach a class. Um, in Ghana. I think did he do it twice? I know he did it at least once. And we had about maybe 15 students. And out of the 15, I think maybe 10 of them went to go register their certificate with the Ministry of Health. In the
right,
Ministry of Health, we have alternative department. I really
right,
don't like to look at us as the alternative. We're the
right.
original,
We're
but anyway.
traditional.
Right, but so there's a regenerative department or alternative department that that has the guidelines for us, and we have to register and get licensed with them. So when they
Right,
bought the certificate, they're like, "What is this? We never heard of this, whatever." So I had to get one of the students get some information, I think write a letter and explain it, and then he was able to put his certificate in, and then everybody else after him were able to put their iridology certificate on file, being recognized as a practice. And
right.
now I understand it's they're doing iridology in a naturopathic school that's in Ghana in Greater Accra. They have it as a course now.
That's
So
great.
yeah, it's
That's
made it's
awesome.
made its way. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would love to see that happen here. I'm the only one in Barbados. I've been doing it for
Wow,
28 years. And
wow.
a few people have come in and done things from South America and a few other places, but I'm the only stable person here. So I'm
Mm, mm.
I'm definitely open to teaching people. I'm at that stage in my life where teaching and moving
Yeah.
the needle forward is definitely the thing to do. So
Yeah,
we talked
yeah.
about the iridology and we talked about your dad coming over. One of the other things I really wanted to talk about is the amazing array of products that you have now that go hand in hand with the iridology. Because once you tell people what's going on in their body system, they
Hmm.
want you to also turn around and fix it. So this is where
Exactly.
being a herbalist comes into play and doing those
Hmm.
herbal formulas to create some wonderful products. And you're coming out of the States with these products. Because I am still at the point where I'm doing products in like herbal teas and shake
Hmm.
powders, where you
Hmm.
have gone over the years with more capsules and tablets and that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. The range is great. So tell me about your products.
Yeah, so New Body Products is a herbal company that was the herbs were formulated by Dr. Paul Goss, who's a master iridologist, but he's also a master herbalist. And he put together several formulations. I think we have about maybe 25 formulations and then single herbs. And I think our one of our first products was RH and SH, which is, for sexual vitality. So
Yeah.
originally it meant rock hard and stay hard. And then it was a couple of old lady Christians that came in and said, you can't say it like that. You need to change it or whatever. I still call it that because I want people to know, what it's for. But
Right.
he changed it to revitalize health and stay healthy. I was like,
Right.
oh, that's boring. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah,
we know
yeah.
how to sell it. And then there was another product he came up with was a stroke patient came in a wheelchair and he was able to get him back walking again. We have a product called FEY, that we use for strokes. Our number one seller is a CKLS. That's our colon cleanser. And
Right.
it stands for colon, kidney, liver, and spleen. And
Right.
it's definitely going to be the number one by far. Like even the second product is like nowhere near the amount of sales. And that's because a lot of us are full of crap, pretty
Yes,
much.
yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's always we have people who use it for detoxification, people use it for maintenance, um, helping to reverse disease and things like that. Some people take it because they know they're going to eat bad, so they got their CKLS, there on the side, so they can go, But after a while,
Yeah,
I tell them, the body does have a intelligence,
yeah.
and after a while,
Exactly.
you can't keep tricking it.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
so these wonderful products are coming over straight from the States to Ghana because you're
hmm
making them in the States, right?
Yeah, we make them here. We manufacture our own products, capsulating machines and everything, the whole thing, the
The
whole
whole,
packaging.
which is
hmm
awesome, and labeling and everything. So that's awesome.
hmm
And they're now being
hmm
brought over. Now, you said that there are a few vegetarian and vegan associations now in
Yeah.
Ghana that have developed
hmm
over the years that you've been there. So the incorporation of your eating habits is also part of this system. So you look in the eyes, you clean your system, and then you start eating differently. And that's the
Yeah.
the the whole mentality I had from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I love your approach. Because a lot of
hmm
people do it partial. They get into the herbs and they never dabble in the food aspect of things. So tell me
Yeah.
about who you met that was into this stuff in Ghana and how you got to introduce some of it, especially to the young people. Were they very receptive to to changing the diet and getting the meat out
I
of
I
this?
think I think the younger people were more accepted than the older, because old habits is hard to die, so um but when I got there, I went to a vegetarian restaurant, which is also where the association had started. It's called a Sasapa in down like the business district of Ghana and of Accra. And from there, that's where I met a lot of people. And then, the association, I was able to meet people through that. Every year they had like a veg fest. And then when they wanted to do like a world veg fest that was coming there, went ahead and became part of the organization on the committee to help with organizing that. But I think something happened, Ebola happened or something like that. So it ended up getting canceled. They still continued with the Veg Fest, and I still, participated. So through that, I met a lot of people there through that. Also, the main people who's kind of responsible for that organization is the Hebrew Israelites. They have a very strong presence there in Ghana, um, Ivory Coast, which is another West African country, Liberia, where they've been able to not just bring that information to the people, but also the government. They had a very strong influence on the government. They were the ones that was able to put that department of the regenerative department of the Ministry of Health. They were the ones they took the minister of health all the way to Demona one time, and they said, nobody dies here. It was just he was just amazed by the whole thing. So they were the ones that influenced. Like we had this thing like what was they would do these different promos. What was it? Water is healing. Our water is good for health. Fruits is good for healing, and vegetable. They just had these different promos. Sleep is good for healing.
Yeah.
And they were responsible, for getting that attention to our holistic health, not just the health as we know, like from medical doctors, like the actual health as far as our mind, body, spirit, like the foods that we eat, understanding that different things that we're eating, the processed foods, how toxic they are, showing that there's a lot of killer ingredients inside of things that we eat, so I have to give props to the Hebrew Israelites for making that happen in Ghana.
Okay, so this is where you get to introduce all three of those things, you get to network with these people and spread it out throughout the community. And how receptive are people to the whole thing? Because you have a running clinic, right?
hmm Well, we
Right,
no, now I just started. I had a health food store over there, and I
right,
was working with the wellness center as one of the 25 therapists that they have. But me
right,
myself, I just opened up a wellness center back in August, and we're still, putting it together. It's also slash Airbnb. It's a place for guests to stay as well. So we're when I go back in a few weeks, then we're gonna get it, up and running. But that part is new. But I've always done the health food store and always worked with a like a wellness Rima TheraTouch. I worked with them for some time.
right. Okay, so that is something that is still to grow in that area. So it is
hmm
interesting to see the parallels between what you've been going through and what I've been going through here. So a lot of times I find with my clients is that it's almost like you have to reintroduce them to the whole concept of holistic wellness from the very
hmm
beginning. I mean, to getting them to do a cleanse, to getting them to, some of them dabble in the herbal medicine in terms of, their grandmother used to use so and so, so they still use it. And then you try to get them to use more herbal products. And then the eating, you can take out certain things once you explain it to them, but getting into too much changes can be quite difficult. And it takes
Yeah.
time to pull them around. And the only time they jump feet first in is when they hear that word cancer.
Right.
When
Or some terminal disease. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
they're
Very
they're
true.
ready, they're ready to make that change and they're ready to make it wholeheartedly. Um,
hmm hmm
and you have herbals for like your lymphatic system and all this stuff as well.
Yeah. Lymphatic. I mean, you name any diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, the typical illnesses, that we go through, fibroids, prostate cancer,
Right.
prostate,
So when
just
people look
just
at your products, they'll see the range and they'll be able to pick up anything that they would like to get. We're going to get a link so that we have a link to
Mhm.
your products to put up on the page for people that want to check it out.
Yes,
For
yes.
sure, since we're talking about
hmm
all this. Now, I
I'll put
also
it in the
know,
chat.
huh?
I said I'll put it in inside the chat. Yeah, so you
Yeah,
can have it.
thank you. So
hmm
I also noticed that you do Reiki.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And energy healing is really good because what I like is because it helps the body to totally relax.
Yeah,
And when the body is in a very relaxed state, it heals faster.
yeah,
It releases toxins easier.
yeah,
So let me turn this phone up. Yeah, so I find that energy healing is good. And then I also try to get my clients to try to do things on their own. Whether it's finding ways to actually put uh to dilute the concentrated energies in different parts of their body where their illness might be, or also getting them into meditation, just being still. Even me myself, I'm guilty of just going until I drop, and so getting us to recognize that we need to take a break way before our body breaks down.
yeah,
And sometimes just doing meditation, even if it's 10, 20 minutes a day, even if you're breaking it up, but just taking out that time just to be still, just it helps you with being able to see things more clearly. I always say that you see better with your eyes closed. When there's a situation and your eyes are open, you only see what's right there in front of you. And sometimes it's hard to get that bigger perspective. But when you close your eyes, you got 444 ways you can deal with that same issue. So meditation is really a part that I also implement that people do. And even me myself, I gotta always remind myself, stop, go
yes.
somewhere, sit down, and
And
be
take,
quiet.
yeah. Yeah. I try very hard to try to let people start some kind of lifestyle practice so they have a little routine that they can stick
Mhm,
to.
mhm,
That
mhm,
is really helpful, and that's part of it. Now, one of the other questions I've always wondered about this, because obviously we pick a lot of the herbs here fresh to make for our herbal formulas. Are there similarities between the herbs in Guyana and the Caribbean? Because you've been here, I know it will be similar in the Carolinas as well, right?
Yeah, there was a doctor, Kweku Ando, from Ghana, but he lived in America for a long time. And he actually had a book that paralleled those different herbs, basically showing the ones that we brought over, during the transition, the
Right.
slave trade. And 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 now I can't I remember being in Carolina and in Barbados where I saw a flower. I can't say it in tree. I'm not even sure. I can't remember the name of it actually, but it was this blue flower that had like this yellow little speck in the middle. And it kind of almost looked like it almost like looked like kind of a vagina the way it looked.
Right.
Um
It wasn't, yeah, it was white in the middle.
it has blue, white, and yellow, excuse me, in the middle.
Okay. That sounds like the blue butterfly pea flower.
No, not the but it's not as big as I know the butterfly pea flower, which is definitely one. That's definitely in Ghana. Definitely
Yeah,
in the
that's the
I
Guyana.
think
The one with the
uh
yellow in the center looks
mhm.
like a vagina.
It's real small, and I'll try to I have to try to find it later. But I did notice so when I asked Dr. Ando about that particular one, and the reason why I asked him because I saw it in both places, he was
Right,
saying that this one is really good for helping children to walk. So like when you have a child that's having a hard time, taking a long time to walk, or they have
right.
really weak legs, you
Yeah,
take that and you put it in their porridge and you feed it
right.
to them, and after a month or so, then you'll start seeing the strength, and then they'll start walking. So that was one
Oh,
of the things I remember in reference to that.
okay.
Yeah, definitely the butterfly pea, which is good for a lot of different things. High in antioxidants, good for the hair and the skin. It's
Yeah,
been known to be good for cancer, respiratory issues, and things like that.
yeah,
Um, one of there's one plant called Leaf of Life.
yes.
I definitely
Yeah,
saw that in the Caribbean, and also saw some herbalists that I saw on YouTube that talked about the leaf of life, and they use it in the same way. The leaf of life is used internally for a lot of different ailments. People use it for malaria and typhoid, respiratory issues, just kind of like an overall wellness tonic. But also, it was used for spiritual reasons. They were planted in a certain part of the yard for protection. And I noticed the same thing happened in Jamaica. They did the same thing. They were
yeah.
planted in their yard, for protection.
A
Hmm
lot of times, a lot of these herbs come up naturally as well. So you might plant some, but then they start appearing in certain cracks and crevices around your yard. It's really cool. And we used to use the leaf of life or one that the word where you would pound it and put a little salt and lime and then put hot water to it. And we use it for coughs and colds, respiratory,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Okay.
Uh,
Thank you for that.
the other one that I want to ask you about was Cersei. Cersei,
Cersei. Now, I'm not
that has
really sure.
a little small, um, what should I say? Actually, I think I have a picture. I can change my background so that you can see it. Because I put some
Yeah,
her
I'm
here.
familiar with Cersei because when I had a store in Atlanta, we have a big Caribbean community there, and we sold it there. But it was already in a tea form to see what
Right,
the plant actually looks like.
right.
But somebody told me,
So
it was
there it is.
somebody from the Caribbean in Ghana was telling me that that was the same thing. Let me look at it. Let me look at it well. Nina, yes. That okay, that's what they told me. So
Yes.
there's one called Nina in Ghana. Very, very strong chlorophyll. Very, very strong chlorophyll.
Yes, very
Um,
that's true.
yeah,
Very
and let's see, they gave it to me for what did I have? Malaria, and they get all kinds of stuff for malaria. Malaria. Oh no, I had a breakout. Like something happened. I got some bad news about an elder of mine that had passed away, and
right,
for some reason I just started breaking out. I think I had too much. I had been eating too much sugar or something, and
right,
I just broke out like in these hives. And so the people that was in the house immediately went out. You know, they called up somebody and they went out to gather these herbs, and they came back, took it and crushed it up. You know, put water, and then took it and rubbed it all over my body. I'm talking about within minutes. The
right,
hives and everything just went away because it scared me because it happened so fast, right?
right.
So I know it's really, really good as a blood purifier. But
Yes,
it was
yes.
just recently I found out that it was Cerecy. I'm talking about like months ago.
Yeah. So Cersei
Yeah.
is traditional ones we use here. It's good for your lymphatic system and cleaning your blood. People use it for diabetes, hypertension, but those are the
Uh-huh.
two main things that is used for to clean your blood and for your
Mm-hmm.
lymphatic system. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm glad to see
Mm-hmm.
that there's some overlaps and that
It's a very big, well, it's an herb that's used a lot because they use it to put it around your neck, like for protection. They like whenever you see the chiefs or the kings in any type of procession or they come into a public festival or something like that, they always have it wrapped around them, around their
okay,
neck.
okay.
Yeah, so it's something that's used a lot. If you're dealing with traditionalists, they put it like in those spiritual baths. You know, it's used a lot for
Right,
protection. Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we have different herbs for different types of protection, but that's one. The other one that people use in bush baths a lot is something called wild olive. It looks like an olive,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it comes out a lighter green. It's
Okay.
hard to describe 'cause I don't have a picture here, but that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the traditional things used in the bush baths, along with black sage,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Okay. Okay.
those things people use for protect, but that's in bathing and clearing something off your system that you've already got, I guess you would say,
Okay.
instead of wearing something to stop it from coming on you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Blue vervain is another very common and traditional one here. Blue vervain. We use that for anxiety, nervousness. It has a little blue purpley flower. It also comes in red and white, but blue, they call it blue, but it actually looks kind of purpley. It has a long stamen and then the flowers are on it. But that one is very popular here as well in terms of being used regularly. I'm trying to think of what about broadleaf thyme?
Which one?
Broadleaf thyme. So it has that strong, pungent flavor of thyme, but the leaves are quite broad and serrated.
Mm.
The old people used to call it poor man's pork. That would be something
Hmm.
that I see them saying on the internet that it is oregano, but that's not what we call it here. We have a completely different name for it, but it's very, very strong and it really helps to clear coughs, bring up mucus and congestion and that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know
It,
I'm part of a organic co-op,
uh-huh,
and sometimes they sell different seedlings and different herbs and foods or what have you.
right.
And I do remember getting uh what I thought was oregano, which is probably what you're saying. I remember when Dr. Reese came through, he said, no, that's not oregano. That's always mistaken as oregano, but it was something else. I don't
Right.
remember him calling it thyme, but it smells just like the oregano and is used for the same things
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
coughs and
Same
building
things.
up
Yeah.
your immune system and things like that, parasites and all that.
So one of the other really beautiful things that has started to happen in the last 20 years is a fusion. Well, I think that we as Caribbean people did it long ago, but you're noticing it throughout the world where they're fusing the herbs into the food. So they're calling it food medicine now. I mean, when you talk to people like Iris or deal with Iris, everything is food medicine because he is dealing with just all plants, not cooked, right? But we would infuse or make different seasonings and put them into different things. But now you're seeing across fusion of the herbs into different drinks and like how you're drinking the shake now, people will put some of the same herbals into it. So now you're getting medicine in some of your natural food, which I think is really good because there is so
Hmm.
much extreme of um, processed foods that you have to
Yeah,
put back the other way and really help people in terms of getting the nutrients they need in all
yeah,
different forms.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's because they've done so much to the soil, and then just in the processing with all the different additives that they put into food, you just are not getting nutrition these days. And it's getting to the point where if you're not really growing your own food, you're probably not getting good food. It's going to
Yeah,
get to the point where you should grow what you eat and eat what you grow because
yeah,
it's hard to be dependent on a system that's not really looking for you to be well. They're looking for you to be sick so they can continue on, with serving you all kind of pharmaceuticals, which is where the big money is made, which is why the
yeah.
food and drug is together as an association.
This is one of the things I'm looking for because obviously in my grandmother's time and before that, you would see complete communities where different people grew different things. So then I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
expand.
yeah.
So I have a breadfruit
Hmm.
tree. I give you some breadfruits. You get some eggplants. You give me some. So then
Yeah,
the community can grow enough stuff for that community and everybody can live. Because it's very
yes,
hard for you as a one person to grow everything for yourself. But if the community
yeah,
grows everything, then you can
hmm,
have a barter system where everybody
yeah,
just a little bit of everything and we all live. And I am
yes.
hoping that that is something that we can revitalize.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's possible. I have a friend, Empress Imira in Ghana. She's originally, I think, from Atlanta, but I met her in Ghana, 20 something years ago. And one day she came to my house and she's like, Sharita, okay, what you growing? I said, nothing right now. She was like, okay, I got some beans and some tomatoes. I'm coming to plant it in your yard. So she just went to about maybe five or six of us, went to their yard and saying, okay, I'm planting this here in your place. I'm planting this in your place. Because we always talk about doing these things, but it's like, okay,
Yeah.
she was like, let's take action. This is something I've been growing in my yard. So she just brought different seeds and so I started growing tomatoes. I think I can't remember what bean it was. But I'm always in and out of the country, so that a lot of times things end up falling off, when I leave out.
Right.
But the
Yeah.
concept was real easy. Everybody that she went to was in within a 5 mile radius of each
Yes.
other. And that was the whole plan. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, was for us to be able to exchange. So I don't think it would be a hard thing to do at all.
No, I think that it needs to be revitalized. When COVID came around and we were all kind of at home, I got an
Yeah.
opportunity because I used to walk every morning. You walk and you see certain people have things growing. It's like, you have I have this, you have that. I'll bring some for you tomorrow.
Hmm.
And in
Hmm.
no time people were easily willing to exchange things because they weren't able
Yeah.
to get to the marketplaces and the supermarkets as often as they should. Everything here became
Hmm.
alphabetic system. So you could only
Yeah.
go and
Yeah.
give your letter and this kind of thing. So that limited people a lot. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see that come forward a bit more as we move forward. And not only with food, but with herbs as well, because those are things
Yeah.
that you can dry and tincture or make into salve so they can have a longer shelf life.
Yeah, yeah. I know, I think it would also be good to approach the youth as far as schools. I have a friend that's a gardener in Ghana, and she's gone to different schools and told them that, look, you guys can be growing some of your own food that you know you're serving to the children. You have all this, grass and this dirt you can dig up. And so she had
Yeah,
started a program with several schools. And the way the children, like to learn, you know what I'm saying? To see something, put a seed into the ground and watch it become something,
yeah,
it's an amazing thing, So, um, I remember when she came, I have something called the Peanut Butter Kids, which is a youth group from age 5 to 15. We deal with preserving the arts of Africa. So we get together once a month and we just do different things. And so I had her come and do a gardening class.
right,
And I had left and came back. And I think I was gone for maybe 3 months. But when I came back, one of the students had actually started growing peppers,
right,
cayenne pepper, and she
right.
already had it ready to go to sell on the market. So not
Wow.
only just learning how to grow, but also the entrepreneurship, which we had a couple of people to come in and teach that. And she was only
Yeah,
11 years old. You know what
that's
I'm
what we.
saying? So I
That's
think
what.
that's really good to get to the youth to have
Yeah.
I think they will be able to push it forward faster.
Yeah. And also not lose some of the traditions. So she makes peppers. She grows peppers. She can also learn how to make pepper sauce and do it in
Yeah.
different ways and flavors and come up
Hmm.
with creative things. And
Hmm.
then introducing them to some other things like kombuchas and
Hmm.
um, drinks that are actually kind of taste like soda pop, but are good for you. Those are the
Yes.
kind things I would love to see the kids making more of because those things are fun and exciting. Even
Yeah.
with chocolate, making
Yeah.
a healthier form of chocolate and the kids being
Hmm.
able to make those things and then
Hmm.
taking it to market would also be really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just-
it would be. Yeah. And I think I always find that it's when you teach a child, you also teaching an adult. Those children will go home and talk to their parents and tell them what they learned.
yeah,
And
yeah,
especially when it comes down to them learning about doing something for their body that's going to make them heal, make them feel better, letting them understand, the toxic foods and the kind of effects that it has on the body and things like that. When they go back home to talk to their parents, I've had times it was like, my child won't eat. I'm like, well, what's the problem? Well, it's like whatever you tell them, they tell them that the food that I'm giving them is not good. And I said, well, you need to start diet because we taught them about being healthy. We don't want them to be on pharmaceutical medicine at the age of 20. You know what I'm saying? It's coming earlier these days. And
yeah,
so we're teaching them prevention. And so the reason why they're not eating because they feel like you're poisoning them. And
yeah,
so you need to listen to them when you go to the grocery store, let them go with you. So it was because we taught them how to shop, all these different things, and then let them participate in the meal, that you plan. And then you'll find that not only that they will eat, but you will be eating better too. And you're going to find that your whole household has become healthier. And these issues that you have
yeah,
hereditary issues, you won't inherit them, you know.
yeah,
So I found that teaching the children really, really makes and it's more rewarding too. You know what I'm saying? It's more rewarding when you teach the children and you see that they're getting something out of it.
yeah,
I can do that all day for free. The adults, I want to charge them.
yeah. And
They want
the
to give you
kids
a
are
hard time, but the
excited.
children.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true.
Hmm.
So this has been a wonderful time talking to you and just delving into some of what is going on with you and your products and stuff. We're going to put the link up so people can look at what you have to offer. And
Hmm.
I am going to get on a plane and get over there so that I can join that group of people that has made it back to the motherland from Barbados.
Yes, yes. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for
Yeah,
you. You
yes,
got a
for sure.
place with me, sis. I got space for you.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, we will keep in touch as usual, but this has been a long time coming, and it will be the first of
Yes.
many. So I will keep track of
Yes.
your journey and I'll talk to you from time to time so people can keep up to date on what you're up to, especially when you have that festival coming up, the Veg Fest. And you talked about two different festivals.
Okay, so the festival, the African Culture and Wellness Festival is something, and the last one I did was during COVID 2021. I did it online. It was a 10-hour because we couldn't
Yeah.
do it um physically. So I did a 10-hour festival that's online on YouTube, African Culture and Wellness Festival. That's the
Right.
last one that I did. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be doing that again. But the
Right.
Veg Fest with the Vegetarian Association. That's every year. And then we also have Sankofa Vegan, Sankofa Vegan Association, who's they do stuff like quarterly, like these vegan markets. They have people to come and speak, and things like that. And then we also have Vibrant Vegan Association of Ghana. So
Right.
between those three, there's always something going on. So either I participate either by speaking or we're vending, or something I'm always involved with that. So those are the main things I'm dealing with now. Put a best festival together, it is no joke. Oh my, I did it, like I said, I did it 6 times. I'm just like, every time I did it, I'm like, I can't do this again. This is,
And still
it's
you
just
do
so
it
much
next
work.
year coming, right? It's hard to
Yeah.
get out of it. And I want
Hmm.
to start one here in Barbados. We used to have one for we did it about 5 years running and then we stopped and we haven't had one for a good 10, 12 years. So I
Okay.
want to start it back. But it's finding the right sponsor that will take it forward on a large scale because
Yeah.
um, because we are on a small island, we have to do more than just veg. I'm looking at doing something green. So it
Hmm.
encompasses the wider community.
Yeah.
Uh, so I'm looking to start back something here. So
Yeah.
we can link when it comes to some of
Yes.
these things. Okay?
Yeah. That's
All
the
right.
main thing, the money.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the main
Part
thing,
about
putting these things
sponsorship.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
sponsorship.
putting the kids at the forefront so they learn, they volunteer, they learn, they're up in everything. And that's the
Yes.
best part about it to move it forward.
Yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
thank you
Hmm.
so much. I know you're really busy. You gotta get
Thank
back
you.
to it.
Yeah,
Thank,
yeah, I really appreciate it. You're looking good. Yeah, I
thank
can't
you.
wait to see you in Ghana.
Yes, I'm
And
looking
I'm
forward.
so glad that the flights are coming. I mean, we've been waiting for this a long time. When I came to Barbados and I saw you in Barbados was maybe about 5 years ago. I think it's about 5 years ago. And they
Yeah,
were talking about it then.
yeah.
So your president, she
Coming
has
through.
really, or minister, she's really, really been on it, really, really been determined to make it happen. And I'm so glad it's
Yeah.
finally happened. It should have happened a long time ago.
And six
Yeah,
hours
but
doesn't seem that long. I mean, it takes us 8 hours just to get to London. So to be able to come
uh-huh.
to Africa in 6 hours, every Bajan's gonna jump on that flight.
Yeah, and,
That's
and people will come through there too, because I'm leaving from New York and it's 10 to 11 hours just from New
yeah.
York. Yeah,
I
and I
went
know if I jump to Barbados, which is, a shorter flight from US to Barbados,
yeah.
that'll be a shorter flight for me.
And then you
Yeah.
could see family and everything, get in touch, and then move on.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Take a dip in
Yeah.
the ocean.
Yes. Yes. I'm happy about that. Thanks for sharing that.
Okay. So take
Yeah.
good care.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Thank you.
You take good care. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor. Bye.